Hello, welcome to Global Sports Streaming. We just decided to do a little after show. We just finished up with some history-making live streaming. It was really cool. ABA Mexico, their very first draft, very first season, and as a brand new league, was supposed to start in May. But now, because of COVID-19, it's going to be pushed back to September 4th. We just finished out with the draft picks. A lot of excited players are now on their new teams. And I'm bringing back Armando Bareno, of course, is the founder of Global Sports Streaming.
Hello.
We did that live stream. Technical difficulties here and there, but hey, it's live streaming. It is kind of the way of the world today, though.
It is. It is. Well, I mean, come on. We're a small little production. We had little hiccups, but what do? We move on, right? We got through it. It ended up all the basketball players ended up knowing where they're going in the draft. So overall,
the best part is after we were done with the broadcast, the Zoom call kept going. So all of these dozens and dozens of players
kept on talking.
We're talking to each other, new teammates. Hey, you on my team? Oh, you're not on my team. So that was really cool to kind of witness that.
I wish we could have recorded that, put that out.
That was great. So we'll get back to the basketball in just a minute, but let's first a little bit talk about the pay-per-view. Because on June 24th, when we did the last broadcast, you did it with Tijuana, was Best in Boxing down in Mexico Live. I was here in Las Vegas hosting the pre-show. We told everybody, we announced it, that we are doing now a pay-per-view platform here with Global Sports Streaming. So let's talk a little bit about that. How did it come about, and where are we going with that?
Well, initially the thought was always there was to build a paywall to be able to have a subscription service similar to a DAZN or an ESPN Plus, and we were on pace, but with the COVID pandemic, basically what happened was the business model of sports changed. First it went away, and then as it's slowly coming back, now we have no audience for these sporting events.
For live events, yeah, in there.
So it presents a problem for those sports broadcasters or those promoters and sporting programs that make their money off of ticketed gates.
Yes.
And so we pushed up our timeline. My developers basically said they can get it done in about 6 weeks. And so at the end of August, at the end of July, we will have this system up and running.
Oh, really? Because originally we said August.
Yeah, and well, it'll be ready.
Okay.
And so we're in the process of selecting dates and putting things together, working with the ABA, working with individual boxing promoters, MMA promoters, Muay Thai promoters. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of different promoters who, in the past, were so dependent upon their gates, didn't see it as an advantage to be able to stream because financially it costs a little more money.
Yeah.
But now that's all I have.
That's all you got.
So for us, it comes back to the core. It's about bringing exposure to athletes that don't normally get it, and so we're keeping to the core. We're just creating a business model that allows the athletes and the promoters to generate revenue where they currently can't from a ticketed
Well, and the fans, we get to see our fights and our games and everything that we like to see as well. So that's fantastic. And I know that obviously COVID-19 has changed so much for so many of us in the business world, in the broadcasting world, in the sports world, like you were saying. But if there is a silver lining, of course, we don't want to downplay the pandemic that's happening. But if there is a silver lining, it's taught us that doing live streaming is not just a possibility, it is really the future.
Yeah, it is, and it's not just in sports, but it's in business. I mean, if anybody out there watching who's had to deal with working from home and maybe having their kids running around
doing Zoom calls, right?
I mean, what it's taught people, what it's taught business from the employees to the employers is that we don't have to be in the same space in order to get our work done, in order to communicate with each other. How do we do it? We do it through video live streaming, and video live streaming on a corporate level, video live streaming on a sports level, on an entertainment level. It's all the same technology. We're just using it now in ways that we haven't before, and it's exciting.
I know, when we did that broadcast for June 24th, again, it was Best in Boxing. You were live in Tijuana.
Yep.
I was live here in this studio in Las Vegas, and it was amazing to me how we really could have the same kind of show flow like I would in a studio, having in-studio guests all the time. That was great.
Oh, and honestly, the show last time, the pre-show was I was so happy when I watched it afterwards.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, yeah, all
You're very
credit to
welcome.
Courtney, because she's, behind the scenes producer, in front of the camera.
Not just
she's got it.
people.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't for Courtney, it wouldn't have happened. But it was such a successful show. We got such a great response. We're going to continue to do it. We're going to incorporate it into our pay-per-views, our pre-show. So basically, what we're going to do going forward, any sporting event that we have, we're going to go live here, live from Las Vegas, before we go out to the arenas, and then we will throughout the night visit back with Courtney.
So you're saying I still have a job?
You have a very expanding job.
I love that. Hey, bring it on. Now, again, you had a lot of struggles, because I originally was going down to Tijuana with you to do the pre-show from there. A lot of struggles, a lot of restrictions for what was happening with COVID-19, for you guys to be able to be down there. You still needed to have a small crew to have the live stream. What kind of struggles did you go through from a production standpoint, and what did you see from the actual promoters in the boxing standpoint?
Well, a lot of people in athletics are starting to realize this, that the governing bodies, and to their credit, this is important because it's people's safety. To their credit, they're being extremely strict, and they're not only doing the COVID testing, but they're doing the isolation, the bubble as it's been called. They're doing isolation like that, and then they're restricting the amount of people in the event. And at first it was very frustrating, because I wanted to bring you down. I had more staff that I wanted to put in the venue, but it was all restricted. So basically because of that, we came up with this solution. And this solution, like I said.
It was my idea.
Yeah,
I gotta say, it was my idea. And then it was
100%.
Because we got Rick over there in the back, and we've got Jenny, and I remember they had this great studio, and I said, what if?
Yeah.
What if I went to Rick's studio?
Yeah.
And then you were like, light bulb.
Let's do it.
See, I deserve a raise already. I deserve a raise already, I think. So, exciting things. And I remember talking to, I think it was George Toscano, one of the big promoter there for that night, and he was saying, like you just said, these are things we probably should have been doing from the beginning. All these COVID restrictions, as we call it, with being in the bubble and sanitizing and everything, maybe we should have been doing that in the first place.
Yeah, it is a different world. Watching the guys with the hazmat suits in the ring, wiping it down after every fight, everybody's spread out. We had a 6-foot tables, each person, one person to a table, so that we knew that we were 6 feet apart.
Hey, can you bring me some water?
Comm system, so that we didn't have to shout.
Okay, good.
But yeah, it was different. But like I said, I am extremely appreciative to the governing bodies and the way they put it together. The regulations can be frustrating at times, but it's for the safety of everybody involved. Look at what the country is going through right now. I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to be in the hospital. So I'm sure everybody feels the same way. So we are spreading out, following the rules, and it is going to allow us to continue to keep living.
That's right. And we do have these pretty sweet GSS masks. Oh, the green screen messes it up. See, that's some technology for you people. So it actually is green, and there's a green screen behind it. It's a little behind-the-scenes secret. That's why it looks like you can see through it. So weird, right? What? So that is really cool. I think we've done such a good job, I think. But I got to ask you, I know at the beginning you had to explain what live streaming was. This is going to be good for you, whether it was in boxing or whether it was basketball or whether it was any kind of sports. People were like, I don't know. But now are you kind of like, dude, I told you so? A little bit, just a little bit.
When live streaming first came out a long time ago, this is when Twitter was first coming on board. Facebook was just a fraction of what it was. I believe they were pretty much in the red by the time live streaming started, and they just came on board 3 years ago?
Yeah, not too long ago.
So yeah, there was a lot of companies that didn't really embrace it, and now it's like, you have a phone, you can live stream from your phone anytime.
And we do. We have to right now.
Everybody does. So yeah, now it's easy. Now it's accepted. And the challenge for myself and people people like myself was, how do we generate revenue and keep to the core message, which is bringing exposure to these athletes and still generate revenue and make it profitable for all of our partners. And that's where the paywall comes in. And I look at it this way. I know there's a lot of fans who complain about the paywalls or complain about the pay-per-views.
And the subscriptions.
And the subscriptions. But in this case, generally, there's no other way to make money. There's no other way to keep you guys entertained. So it's our job to produce quality content to make you interested enough to want to pay.
Right.
So that's our job.
Yeah.
We're going to work on in boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, we're going to put quality events together.
They always have good fights. There's no sugarcoating and padding resumes.
Yeah, and that's what I love about these non-signed fighters is that a lot of the in the combat sports world, there's these unsigned fighters that they know that they're being broadcast and they want to perform, and they do.
Good. Yeah.
And they do. And to their credit, a lot of these guys have been able to not only start their careers on Best in Boxing, our boxing show, but have taken it because of the exposure and gotten signed by bigger promoters. I mean, credit to them and their talent.
Of course.
But we help.
But you have to give them the platform to go on in order to be seen, and I love that. And I remember you talk about it from a business standpoint and from the promoters and making money at the gate. Of course, I think about it as a fan, and I remember it wasn't too long ago, maybe 10 years ago even, watching the NCAA tournament. You used to have to get in line. There was a queue if you wanted to see your game online. Right. You had to wait an hour, didn't even get into the second half sometimes if it wasn't on your TV. That was so frustrating, and back then it was awful. There was a queue. You had to get in. I remember, I'm like dating myself here, but it was awful. But so as a fan, to have it readily available, and I got to pay $7?
Yeah.
I would have paid $70,000 to see Michigan State play in the NCAA tournament back then.
You're not really dating yourself because it really wasn't that long ago.
Well, that was like 2009, 2010.
It wasn't, so it wasn't that long ago that we were having to queue, but now, and it's all to the technology.
Thousands of people in line in front of me. It was awful.
And now with cloud technology and all the servers that we have all around the world specifically for video streaming, it's instantaneous. Literally on the back end of our system that we're building, if we hit our threshold, so basically it's these little. Imagine it's like Lincoln Logs, and we run to the end of the Lincoln Log.
Now you just dated yourself.
Now I
just dated myself. Lincoln Logs. Everyone at home was like, what?
Well, basically, you link on. So as soon as one server fills up, it automatically connects to the next server, so we can just keep on expanding and expanding and allowing as many people as you know. I mean, basically, we can go infinitely with the technology.
Global, hence global sports streaming. Yeah. You saw it, I think, before anybody else. You are certainly a pioneer, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Where should everybody follow us? Global sports streaming, Best in Boxing, whatever your sport is.
Globalsportstreaming.com is where the pay-per-view will be.
Okay.
So basically, this is what we're going to be doing. So every event, we're going to have a pre-show. So specifically for boxing, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it similar to what fans are used to. We're going to have a pre-show here from Las Vegas.
Right.
And then we are going to start for free the undercard fights.
Oh, nice.
And as the fights are going, you'll relax and watch the fight, and then in between fights, we'll come back to the studio. Okay. We'll run segments in promotion of the pay-per-view.
Gotcha.
And then that'll go out on Fight Hub. That'll go out on globalsportstreaming.com. That'll go out on all of our Facebook accounts. So if it's boxing, Best in Boxing Facebook, Global Sports Streaming or GS Streaming on Facebook, GS Streaming on YouTube. And Best in Boxing on YouTube as well. So it'll go out to all those, and shout out to our partner Fight Hub for taking those. And we will also have a delayed broadcast. The pay-per-view broadcast will be broadcast a week later on Fight Hub as well. So if you do miss it, you can watch it for free a week later. All
right, so make sure you follow all the GS Streaming. I know is on Insta, and that is on Twitter too, and then Global Sports Streaming, of course, you can find it if you just search it online on Facebook. Am I missing anything?
No, that's it. We have dates coming up. Our first date is August 22nd for boxing. We have September 4th for boxing, Best in Boxing. September 6th, we kick off ABA, and that'll be a weekly. We will do.
Wait, September 4th is ABA.
That's the kickoff there of the season. Our first broadcast will be Sunday.
So glad you know what's going on.
Every
Okay.
Sunday we will have a game of the week for the
Okay.
ABA, and then it'll change.
American Basketball Association, if you're just joining
yes.
us. But it's this. There's a new league in Mexico, brand new league. This is inaugural season, and they're a new partner of ours here at Global Sports
Yes,
Streaming.
thank you. And
You're
so,
welcome.
and so we have a stacked schedule for the end of the year. Not on, with boxing. Like I said, we're bringing on Muay Thai, we're bringing on MMA, and we're bringing on basketball. And we'll have a basketball tournament for the ABA in December, as well as plenty of fights. We'll have, and we already have scheduled 2 fights in December.
Nice.
So it'll be a packed schedule for the end of the year.
Alrighty. It's all marked on my calendar already. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. So follow us on social media. You can follow Best in Boxing and, of course, GS Streaming as well, Global Sports Streaming. And I'm at Courtney Perna. So make sure you follow me, too. I follow back. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.